And we're live. Scholz, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think we're still
Perfect.
waiting to be transferred over.
Okay. Stream is live. Cool.
Is anyone else joining?
I think it's just, well, I don't know at this point. I thought Kel might be joining us.
Okay. Okay, get ready.
Cool.
And we are here for the end of the first semi-final of the 2023 Rugby World Cup. It ends 44 points to 6 in favor of the All Blacks. I think it's fair to say that we got our numbers a little bit wrong. Even your audacious, I think it was an 18 point lead was not even half of kind of what it was. So, I mean, geez, we really a clinical performance. Hey, Wes, what do you have to say about that semi-final?
Yeah, no, just as I said at the halftime, All Blacks just too good. They were clinical on attack and defense. The Argentines weren't really bothering them, in any sort of aspect of the game. They lost a few lineouts, Argentina did, and the scrums they were struggling with. So, yeah, you've almost got to have, a perfect game or do enough to disrupt the All Blacks to stand a chance of winning. But credit to the All Blacks. They showed up. They played very good rugby. And they're into another Rugby World Cup final.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things that it becomes, certain teams you mentioned, or maybe it was Cole, the most decorated rugby team and one of the best win percentages of any sports team in the world. They really just know how to get it done. And there was an overwhelming feeling of, the semi-final was played last weekend, right?
Yeah.
There was just that elation and that intensity just could not be matched by Argentina. But as you would have seen, Forever Sports has put a link in the comments. So all those that are still watching, please go follow that link. And what you'll see is all the um, players going, 1 down to 23, and you're going to give them each a ranking. And then Wes and myself will go through ourselves and agree on a ranking and see where we rank everyone. It'll give us an average when we input our score. So we'll see if we're above and below. But first, before we get into that, so please go and input your scores, your player ratings there, and we'll get to that soon. But Wes, let's dive into a little bit. My initial thoughts, and it was just a continued frustration in the Argentines. They were just there, and then it was just as soon as a little bit of momentum, there were mistakes. The knock-on count was through the roof. I mean, I don't know if you heard the stat, but last weekend the All Blacks didn't knock on the ball once, which is just, you make yourself so hard to beat when you are not giving away possession easily. What did Argentina do wrong in that regard?
Yeah, no. I mean, exactly. I mean, just too good. I'm going to sound like a bit of a broken record here. New Zealand are just very, very clinical in terms of how they're playing. But the All Blacks were not as clinical as last week in terms of knocking some of the ball on. As you said, I mean, what a crazy stat for them not to give away any possession last week via knock-ons. But interesting, there's some comments in the chat here, sort of thinking that it was a bit of a messy game. So Jasper Milan saying, "I agree, a messy game." And then Jane van Reenen saying, "Not much competition here, not too much quality rugby from either side," which I thought was an interesting comment. I thought there were moments where Argentina looked okay. I thought, throughout pretty much New Zealand looked pretty high quality. Do you know what I mean? I think you can if you're a New Zealand supporter, you can be pretty proud of the way they played, especially as we said after last week, after the physical and emotional emptying that it took for that side to get over the island side, to come back in this week and to show up and do your job well. I think it was a big performance from the boys in black.
100%. I mean, you're talking about a semi-final where you've almost put 50 against your opposition. I don't think you can just downplay that to a scrappy win. You know, I thought they were clinical, they were patient. It didn't look like they completely emptied the tank. They did it not, I wouldn't want to say at a trot, but pure clinical. It feels like they just know how to use their energy when needed, right? They just switch it on and bang. I mean, Talea tonight looked like he was a man, like he had a chip on his shoulder and he had a point to prove from that miss, making sure that, you know, no matter what, he's getting into that finals 23. But really, I think, as you said, I don't think there's too much to look into other than, I think, a quality New Zealand outfit on the night that really put them away. And you know, we had spoken about New Zealand potentially, you know, being a bit of an up and down performer under Ian Foster. And I mean, consistency couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just think, you know, we saw again comments earlier talking about if you come from an easier pool potentially, you know, like the Argentines did, you know, obviously that pool with England, but then from there on, pretty straightforward, you know, that gap between, again, the top, you know, even within the top 10 nations, you know, we always speak about the difference between tier 1 and tier 2, but it does feel like at the moment, you know, your top 4 are just leagues ahead of the rest. And I think that was clearly shown tonight, you know, and we'll have to see, is it going to be shown tomorrow night again? I think it'll be a very different game tomorrow night, but yeah, no, credit to All Blacks.
100%. I think that tomorrow night's going to be big and a real understanding of what that top 4 split is like, because I mean, we really didn't see South Africa or Ireland struggle with, you know, the number 5 in the world at the time, Scotland. But England are going to obviously, you know, give it their all, and I do think it'll be a bit more of a fight than the Argentines got. But, you know, would you say that tactically Argentina got it wrong at all at any points?
I mean, potentially they had good success from that one up and under, you know, sort of a cross field up and under high ball. I think it was Bafeli was able to get up, knock it back to one of his players. It was a really nice play. And then we didn't really see that again. You know, I think there were a few up and unders that didn't maybe quite go where they were supposed to, whatever. But it was interesting. I thought, oh goodness, okay, this is a tactic they're going to look to use. You know, this is going to be quite exciting. But I don't know, Dan, am I wrong in misremembering that? I don't then quite remember them doing that throughout the game. It would just seem to then be, okay, we're going to keep the ball in hand and keep it tight. And as I said, it just wasn't causing any trouble for the All Blacks defense.
Yeah, I don't think they, you know, with such a patient defense like the All Blacks, you really have to unsettle them. And we saw how well the All Blacks did that. As soon as like there was chaos, they could just take advantage, right? And being able to like turn the backs and, you know, even just try to kick over their head, something a little different, I think, just to unsettle that defense. But it just really didn't feel like the All Blacks had to worry, and they could just play the game that was in front of them, and they believed that their skill set was going to, you know, outpower and outplay the Argentines, which, you know, it did end up doing. And credit to them, you know, sometimes you get told it's a World Cup semi-final and you have to read a whole lot into it. I don't think they needed to change too much of what they needed to do, and they stuck to what they were good at, and kind of got the job done. So fair play.
Yeah.
Let's get into these. Let's get into some of these player ratings. I'm going to share my screen, and you can just let me know when you've got me live. But we've got them one by one across each other, as you can see. And feel free in the comments to, if you haven't gone on the link and submitted them, actually just to add your ratings as we go through this. But let's start here. Ethan de Groot, and we'll go through quite quickly because obviously there are quite a lot of players, but Ethan de Groot for you?
Yeah, solid for me. Did what he needed to do. Scrummed well. I don't think they conceded a scrum penalty, so that's I think in my books like a 7 or an 8. Pretty solid.
Let's go. Let's go 8. Was average user score 7. Let me
Okay.
refresh
Yeah.
so that all the new votes have come in. So 8. Now we're going to go Thomas Gallo. I think it's kind of the inverse, right? It was a really
Yeah.
tough night for the man.
Yeah.
The scrum looked a bit unsettled, particularly towards the end. They just couldn't get that ball out the scrum soon enough.
Yeah. He did do some good carries, so that's kind of redeeming. I thought he had a few ways there on his feet, so initially I was thinking maybe like a 4 or 5, but I'm probably going to keep him at a 5, I think, or reckon from my end. I don't know what you think, Dan.
Yeah, I'm happy with a 5. Give him a pass. Average score 5.5, so a little bit under. Junior Montoya, he did give away a couple penalties throughout the game. I do feel like Angus Gardner was a little bit tough on the RGs throughout the game. I don't know. I just didn't feel there were times where there were 50-50 decisions that he didn't allow. But sorry, this is not about Angus Gardner's rating. This is about Montoya's. I don't think he played too badly. Maybe a 6 or a 7 for me.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. I think there were a few lineouts that were lost. New Zealand were disrupting, but he did go off his feet a couple of times at the breakdown. He wasn't quite as potent. So yeah, I reckon probably about a 6.
Okay, let's go to 6. What have we got? Average of 6. Okay, we bang on. Cody Taylor. I mean, I really, obviously he's kind of now cemented that starting position in for himself. I think a pretty quality game. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. Did what he needed to do. Again, probably just quiet work in the background. So I'm also going to go probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think it's give him some credit. I can't recall them losing too much. Let's go for an 8. I don't know what the public thinks. Okay, 7. Maybe you're a bit more right there. Francisco Gomez Cordela. What are we saying?
Yeah, I think he was penalised a couple times at the scrum specifically. I think he was just absolutely buckling under the pressure. I think at one point he was deemed to be pulling out of the competition. You know what I mean? Like that's what the ref called.
Yeah.
So that's never good as a prop. So I reckon that's about a 4. I'm going to say.
Yeah, let's go 4. Tyrell Lomax, there we go, 4.5, pretty close, bang on. Tyrell Lomax, I think he had a really good game. He's gone really well. It's also there was talk of that height difference as well, between him and Francisco. But for me, at least a 7, 8.
Yep, I'm there with you.
Okay, we'll go 7. What do we got? 7.5, a little bit under. Okay, Petty and Whitelock. I'll hand both of these over to you.
Yeah, I think Petty's got to be like a 3 or a 4 because he just in the first half prolifically giving away penalties, and in the second half continued, and he just couldn't quite get his timing right or whatever. So yeah, I don't know if you feel 3 is too harsh, but I feel like he just gave away way too many penalties.
Yeah, my heart will go 4, so let's stick with that. Yeah, there we go, bang on the money. Sam Whitelock, great game. Really, I felt he was everywhere. He was stealing. He was great jumping. I think he's him being dropped from the last game. I don't think that happens again. I think he starts in the final. For me, it's potentially a 9.
Yep, I'm there with you. 8, 9. Like I think he looks like he's got another World Cup left in him. So,
he walked off and I felt like he still had something in the tank. So fair play to him.
Unbelievable. Yeah, 152 tests for New Zealand. Whoa, people very harsh on Sam Whitelock. Okay, interesting.
That's tough. Lavanini, what are our thoughts?
Look, he didn't get a card, so does that automatically mean he gets a 10? Like I think in his books, do you know what I mean?
It means he starts at a 5, so anything above that.
No, look, I think he didn't do anything particularly wrong. I thought he carried well tonight. Lineouts were a bit scrappy, as we said, but a bit ineffective potentially. So maybe a 6.
Sure, let's go with that. I think that's probably going to be about bang on 5.5. Scott Barrett, I think he kind of played himself out of the starting jersey in a bit of a way. I mean, such a silly penalty to give away at the end, a bit cynical. And now he's done it. He did it recently. I forget the game that it happened, but just, flashes of just hot-headedness were not necessary
Yeah,
at all.
yeah,
Obviously I think he's had an incredible season. Just, I didn't feel his, complete presence. Maybe, I think at least a points deduction for the yellow, maybe 6-7.
yeah. I'm gonna six with you as well. I agree. Normally such a presence on the field, but this game it was not, except for when he got the yellow card. So I reckon a 6.
Yeah, let's stick with that. What have we got? 5-5. Wow. People taking harshly to the yellow card. Okay, Juan Martin Gonzalez. What are your thoughts there?
Again, I didn't not much. I think Issa and Kremer, played really well. So I think it's a bit tough for me in my mind. I've got those two kind of up there. I can't really point to anything that Martin Gonzalez did. Probably some just grunt work. So again, maybe a 5 or a 6 just in the background. Unless you have any strong thoughts there, Dan.
No, I think I'm happy. I'm happy with the 6 as well. Let's see what that gives us. Back 6-7. Okay, a little bit below, but
Okay.
yeah, good effort. Shannon Frizzell, I think good carries, getting around the park. He's a big boy.
2 tries. 2
Yeah,
tries.
he's
Like,
not true.
no, he's a solid part of this All Black side now. And one of the pundits earlier this week was saying they look like a very different team with him and without him. So I think he's become quite integral. So no, I reckon that's an 8-9 performance there with the 2 tries. Probably got to go 9.
100%. I think he's this generation's Jerome Kano, just that real
Yeah.
enforcer. Now that Artie Severe's moved to 8, but more of a ball carrying role. But I mean, jeepers. He is not someone we want to stop him. Or remember what he did to Billy Rue. But let's go 9, see what we get back. 7-7, tough for him.
Yeah, tough crowd.
Yeah. We're missing it a little bit. Let's tighten this up. Okay, Marcus Kremer. I thought he had a really good game. He really,
Yeah.
he completed now every single minute possible. He'll play in the 3rd and 4th playoff. I'm not sure if whether he'll play himself there, but I mean, I'm happy to even go as high as 7-8 because I felt like he was the person on that Argentinian side that probably wanted it most.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think 8. Like I think to have the motor on him and to go at the pace that he was going the entire game, given that he's played every minute, was just phenomenal. And he was running really good lines as well. Like he was being smart. It wasn't just trying to match people up front and bounce. And he was looking for holes. So I'm very happy with an 8 performance. I think he'll probably get scored a bit low because he's on the losing side. But I think if you look at his performance, for me, he was probably man of the match for Argentina.
Yeah. Agreed. I think he was definitely their best player. 7-3, not too bad.
Okay.
Sam Cane, I think a pretty good performance. Not quite as complete as the statement performance that he had against Ireland, but a stock 7 for me.
I'm with you. Bang on 7. Did what he needed to do. Nothing too special. Just led the team. Did well.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that. I think we'll be on the money there. Oh, 6-3. First
Harsh there on Sam.
Yeah. Okay. Facundo Issa. What are we saying?
Yeah, I think he went off quite early with that HIA, which is a bit unfortunate. But he came back on, and I thought he just ran hard the whole night. And he's a good, strong, physical ball carrier, but probably less than Kremer. You know what I mean? Like if I've said Kremer's an 8, then probably Issa's got to be around a 7 though.
Yeah, let's go 7. I'm happy with that. 7-3, nice, great stuff. Artie Xavier, he just the man just hates being brought down to the ground, right? He will fight for that inch every single time. And you hear him through the microphone. I love their ref microphone because it's always just hearing Artie Xavier trying to push and then attack.
Yeah. So no, yeah, I think just another strong performance from Artie, like just ever omnipresent, all powerful. So yeah, I reckon about an 8.
Yeah, happy with that. 7-3, sure. A little tough, but in the same ballpark. Okay, Gonzalo Betrano, really high tempo. He was getting the ball out. I guess there were times where, just at that penalty, maybe they was trying to go wide, but I don't know if you can put that on the scrum off. Maybe a 6-7.
Yeah, no, I was thinking 6'7". I think I'm trying to think, it was a few box kicks from him that didn't quite go to hand, or where they wanted to go rather. So, but his pace was good. You're right. So I'm tempted to go 7. So I default to you, Dan. Where do you think you're going to put him?
I'll bring it back to 6. I feel like that's where Forever Sports fans are going to be. Oh yeah, 5'7" would have been a
Yeah,
little bit elevated there. Aaron Smith, great night on the score sheet. I mean, he's timeless. He really just doesn't look like he's slowing down. Gets the job
no,
done.
yeah,
For me, it's an 8.
yeah. I'm 8 with you there as well.
Cool. Let's see. I think we're going to be bang on there. Yep, 8-3. Santiago Carreras. A lot of pressure on him coming into it. How do you think he did?
Yeah, like technically, probably, I think very well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there weren't many handling errors. I think pretty much all his passes went to hand. Picking out generally, I think the correct option. But I just think in terms of their attack or strategy, it was just not the correct one to do. And so it's tough to think, okay, how much sits that with your 10, as opposed to how much has he been told this is what we're going to do? Play this way. So I think technically quite sound. I think, though, potently just quite ineffective. So I reckon probably about a 7. I thought he played all right.
Okay. Yep. Happy with that. I think he did stand up for the most part. Did take on a lot of pressure. So yeah, I'm happy with the 7. 5-7, a little bit low.
Yeah.
Again, now Richie Mwanga, was both of us who called man of the match performances, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
but
for me,
we have to give him. Sorry, Dan. We have to give him a 1 for not giving Will Jordan
yeah,
that
that is
pass
shocking.
to equal Jonah Lomu's 4 tries in a single game or a
Oh,
semi-final. That was complete white line fever. So
yeah. And I think probably a decision that was born out of a poor kicking performance, right? He had felt like
yeah,
he needed to bring
yeah,
himself into the game and save some sort of his performance. But yeah, I mean, just a very selfish decision. It was a 100% try, and he turned it into a 50-50, and he lost that 50-50, and it was a knock on.
yeah,
And are they gonna, so much pressure has been put on Manny Liebach and missing all these kicks and
yeah,
changing mid game.
yeah.
Do the All Blacks now have kind of the balls to just say, Richie Mo, you out, Geordie Barrett slot in? What do
Yeah.
you say?
No, no, very interesting. It'd be interesting to see what they do. I think they'll back Richie. I think players will have a bad game here and there, and I think that's probably just what it is. But I think if we're looking at this performance tonight, his conducting at 10 was good. He had some lovely breaks through and whatnot, but his kicking performance was very poor. So I think it's bringing him down to me, obviously, for like a 6 or a 7. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he was a good attacking threat. Defensively, he was okay. But yeah, his kicking performance really wasn't where it needed to be tonight.
Yeah. I think we got to go for what we think the fans are going to go at, and I'm going to say 3.
3
I think
crisis.
that's okay. Maybe 4. I don't know. I don't think the fans are going high. I think they're going low.
Okay, let's see.
We
That's
can go
a
5.
huge
We can
call.
go 5. Should we go 5? Sorry. Maybe I've misread this. Let's see. We'll go 5. We'll go 5. Let's see what they had to say. Okay, 6. Okay, I got it horribly wrong. Sorry. I thought there was going to be.
Man wanted to go
Okay, you
3.
came with me at the 1, and I got brought down. Okay, Mateo Carreras. I mean, bit of a live wire. That one knock on was a real pity, but trying to break the line, trying to involve
Yeah,
himself. I mean, I think after Kremer, I thought he would really also just try to impose himself. I think he had a decent game.
yeah. No, agreed. Unfortunate about the knock on, but when he had ball in hand, he at least beat one defender. So solid performance. That's for me. A bit of a 6. Would have liked to seen him more involved, but I'm at about a 6, 7, maybe a 6.
Okay, let's go 6. Happy with that. 6-3. There we go. Bang on. We back on track. Mark Telea, as we said earlier, really fighting for that position and felt like he deserved every bit of that 11 jersey, right?
Absolutely. So I think this is for me an 8, 9, probably leaning towards a 9 performance there.
Yeah.
I don't think did he score? I don't think he scored,
Yeah,
but still just
I think he did score. I think he did score at least
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he just has that knack, that ability to get off defenders. It's like there's people
Yeah.
you don't understand how. It's just like
Yeah.
he's just
Ridiculous.
and he's so strong. Yeah, just complete performance, creating space, making turnovers. Yeah, I think a 9 will be on the money. Oh, 8, bit tough. Okay, Santiago Chocobares. What are we saying for him? We spoke about the centre performance.
A bit ineffective, usually such a strong ball carrier. Like, defensively he was pretty good. I don't think much came through the centre channels. But in terms of attacking threat, again, it's the whole back line just wasn't able to really get firing. Whether that's because of the forwards, weren't giving them necessarily clean ball. I'm not sure. They were getting nice quick balls sometimes. So, yeah, I reckon a solidish performance, on the losing side. So your mind automatically drops a little bit. So I'm somewhere between, 5 and a 6. Did well, but didn't really feature.
Okay. Yeah, I think I am with you there. Let's go for 6. I think it's probably going to be about right. 6.7. Jordy Barrett. Geez, he put on a big hit on the retiree. Poor man. Hey? Jeez, to send him into retirement like that. That was tough to watch, but I think a pretty complete performance from him. It's like, oh, I kind of miss him in open play, but geez, he's just so solid.
No, kicked well, tackled well, ran well. Solid performance from Barrett. I probably think an 8.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm also going to go 8. There we go. Bang on. Okay, we're back on track. Cinti.
Same thing as Chocobatis, really. I don't think didn't make many mistakes, but didn't make many breaks either. Do you know what I mean? So I'm probably at that. What did we say for Chocobatis? 6.
Yeah, I'm happy with 6. Let's go there. Ricky Ioane, subbed off at the end, but I think pretty solid from him. He had that good little run where you see the glint of him when he used to be at 14 with that inside step. I'd say 7, 8 maybe.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards a 7. Like I think he did again his job well and whatnot, but nothing really potent, in terms of too standouty. But yeah, I think 7 is fair enough.
Didn't change the game, I don't think. But yeah, arrived. There we go, 7-3. Buffelli, I think he held his own. He was competing, winning under the high ball. It's always hard when it's like one of your best players is on the wing to really impose yourself sometimes. But I mean, he kicked his kicks 2 from 2, winning the ball in the air. I don't think there was any lack of effort there from them. I think around a 7.
No, he just didn't get the ball in his hands enough. Same thing as Carreras. 2 players who do well with ball in hand and would have liked to see more in the game. But I think fair enough. I think made his kicks, didn't really put a foot wrong. So I'm happy with 7.
Great, let's leave it at that. Well, Jordan, as you said, could have had a equal record. But I mean, a hat-trick in a semi-final. The commentator said the best players make the hardest things look so simple, and that chip and chase was just an amazing example of that. He barely looks like he's trying. He puts it on the boot just where he wants it. I don't know about you, but I actually thought he was shaping up to kick it left and then just kicked it for himself. I don't know if that was on purpose or it was just me who kind of got flummoxed by that, but I mean, great performance. It has to be at least a 9, right?
Yeah, no, I think 9 is perfect there.
Yeah, let's leave him at that. I think we'll be on the money. Oh, 8. Oh, that's tough for a man who scored a hat trick.
You score a hat trick in a semi-final, and you get
maybe if he scored his 4th. Yeah, all of a sudden, if you score a walk-in 4th, you get up to 9. Juan Cruz Malia.
Yeah, it's again, it's almost the same as all the Argentine backs. Didn't really do much wrong. Caught balls when needed to, kicked pretty well, but just ineffective really. So probably at about a 5, 6.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with the 6. Just didn't feel a real, push on the influence of the game. 4, 5. Oh, tough.
What did we miss? That's hectic.
Maybe we're covering too much. Bowden Barrett.
Yeah, pretty solid. I'm trying to think.
I mean, he got lined up on that one tackle. He really got hit.
He did.
He just seems pretty cool, calm, and collected. He's not the Barrett of old by any means, but he's a quality 15. Like, really, really good player. I think a 7.
Yeah, I'm at 6-7. Let's go for a 7.
Yeah. There we go. Hang on.
Nice.
Okay. Creevy, last game. We've got to give him a 10, right?
Have to send him off with a good send off there with a 10 for the legend.
But genuinely, I think my favorite moment of the match was the combined turnover from him and Nicolas Sanchez at the breakdown to win that penalty. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never seen a 38-year-old pop up and win a ball like that. Unbelievable. Yeah. So, an unbiased 10 for Creevy. 7-5, not bad. Yeah. I think I was further away with my Richie Mo'unga predictions. So. Takiyaho, I felt he really imposed himself. I think he came on and really did a job.
Yeah, I think he also had a bit of a point to prove. I think he's not been in the setup for a bit, so he was like, right, this is my opportunity. So I reckon very solid performance. 7-8, I think. Yeah,
I'm happy with it. I think I'm going to go with an 8. That's a pity. I don't think we'll see. 6-7.
People.
Maybe we missed something.
Yeah, exactly.
He's making really good, strong carries, but probably means that we don't see Dane Coles maybe again in an All Black jersey, which is a shame. But I think it's probably the right call. Okay, Joel Sculvey.
Yeah, I don't feel like the scrums got much better, when the subs came on. So I think, again, sort of just an average performance, probably a 5 for me.
Yeah, happy to lock that in. 5. Tamatai Williams, 4-5 a cap. Close enough. Tamatai Williams looked pretty strong. Good ball carries.
Good ball carries, good energy. I think I'm at about 7 probably.
Yeah, dominated the scrum as well. Good on him. 6-7, close enough. Eduardo Bello.
It's the same thing. We're sitting at about a 5.
Yeah, let's go 5. There we go, bang on. Fletcher Newell also just dominated his scrums really when he came on. Couldn't really see too much of him, ball in hand. I don't really recall too much. Maybe 7 for winning all the scrums.
Yeah, it's tough, right? So 6-7. We didn't see too many ball carries, but happy with a 7.
Let's go 7. 6-5. Okay, Mateus Alemano.
It's just, no one was really making much there. So I don't know what you're doing there, Dan. I'm always going to go 5.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a large amount of 5s for the rest of these Argentines, unfortunately. Brody Retallick seemed decent when he came on. I think he won a couple of lineouts. I think he starts in the final, to be honest. I think it's going to be him and Whitelock, the old faithful. Experience. I mean, they've won a World Cup together, and this could be Whitelock's 3rd World Cup, which would be wild. The first player to ever do it.
Would be absolutely insane. So, but I think for Retallick, pretty solid 7.
Yep, happy. Moving on to Rodrigo Bruni.
So he had to come on quite early because Issa went off, and I thought he pretty much kept the pace up, which was good. You didn't feel Issa's massive sort of presence being missed. So I was quite impressed with him there. So, I think he had a good performance, but nothing too special. So probably a 6, bumps him up from a 5.
Okay, let's go 6. Oh, got the spinny wheel of death. There we go, 6. Okay, Dalton Papaili.
I just almost like an Argentine player in a sense for me. It didn't really
came on so late, right? It's really hard to give people performances. You're judging off 1 or 2 real instances.
Exactly. So 6-7, but that's just based on the fact that they won.
Yeah, purely 6-5. Yeah. Okay, Vélez.
I don't know, Dan. What are you thinking? I was going to say 5 again.
Let's go 6. I really it's hard to remember how every single player imposed themselves. Finley Christie. I don't think he was that bad. I mean, I'm a massive Cam Roygaard fan, but I don't think he actually had too bad of a game. He seemed to be quite lively, did what he needed to do. Maybe a 7 for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Came on, had good service. But yeah, we'll have to see who gets picked for the final.
Yeah, I mean, as a book fan, I'm happy with Finlay Christie to stay just there. Just there where you are. Okay, Nicolas Sanchez, the last dance. Yeah, not much to go off. Unfortunately, his last touch of a international rugby ball was to miss touch at the end, but I mean 6, I guess,
Yeah,
or 10.
yeah.
10 is last game. Sorry, last
Got
game.
to do that. It's a
Yeah,
we've said it.
I forgot the rules. And a 9. You know, the Forever Sports fans know what is up. You got to pay your respects to the greats. And
Yeah.
he is a great. We will miss him. I mean, he's actually had a
Yeah.
really great World Cup. I
Yeah.
was almost surprised that he wasn't starting by the end of it, but just I'm sure one of his highlights of his career will be that match-winning intercept try against Wales last weekend. Just a phenomenal career, a real servant to Argentina rugby. So we wish him well from Forever Sports to him, in case he's watching this. But DMAC.
Yeah, I mean, like so electric, normally and whatnot, but I felt was pretty quiet. Didn't really do anything wrong, but not the D McKenzie that we are used to seeing. So tough to penalize him based on past performances. But I reckon, a 7 maybe.
Yeah, I think he can. The criticism that he probably would come under is maybe trying a bit much, but that's kind of also what he's there to do, is to make crazy stuff happen. So it's hard to counter against him when it doesn't go right.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more like a 6 for me.
Cool.
There we go. Okay, last 2. Moroni.
5, 6,
5.
5.
Okay, last not least, Anton Leonard Brown for 5. Okay. Yeah, Anton Leonard Brown. He's been a little bit better for me this World Cup, but not. I mean, not to the point where I think he's demanding a starting position by any means, but he's fulfilling a role. I think when he comes on, solid in defense, almost had that kick that I felt like he could have got away, almost got a try for himself. Maybe a 6, 7.
Yeah, no, I reckon it's probably winning by his side puts him at a 7, but nothing special today. So yeah, let's see.
Okay, final one. 6-5. Okay.
There we go.
Well, that's us. We were, I don't think, too far off. I think for the most part we kept it mostly together. But lastly, let's just take this. What does this mean for the New Zealanders now going into the final? What can they take forward? What are the changes that they make, if any? What are the New Zealanders supporters and the players thinking right now?
I mean, you've got to be feeling pretty good, right? I think as an All Black player or fan, you've got to be pretty confident that you deserve a spot in the final one, and I think they absolutely do. In terms of your chances at it, I think you always have to fancy New Zealand in a World Cup final to take it all. Whether they play England or South Africa, I think they're going to put up a hell of a fight. So I don't think they'll change too much. I think what they're doing is clearly working. They found something that works for them. They had the good end of their pool games. They found a way to dig it out against Ireland, and tonight they just put on a very clinical performance. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be, congrats to the All Blacks, and then I'm sure the fans are stoked. It's going to be a hell of a final, though.
For sure. We have Kahu Emberson saying, I don't mind whoever wins between New Zealand and South Africa, just as long as it's not England. I will never recover from something like that. I think we echo those thoughts and your words there, Kahu. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a Springbok fan, you don't want to see England pushing through, and it's the biggest stage on earth for well, at least for us, with what we see as the biggest match in world rugby is the Boks versus the All Blacks, right? It's just it would be an incredible spectacle, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. The Boks need to play England tomorrow, who are going to make it ugly. They're going to take us to the trenches. They're going to want to, they're loving us here chatting right now as if we got to step a half a foot in the final. I think it's been a good job by the South Africans not to get ahead of themselves in the way they've presented. But how do you think, I mean, even as the Boks I was just discussing, how do you think they see this game and what's come of it? How much are they reading into already what's happened on the field, or is it purely looking in on themselves? What is the thought process going through the Springbok player's mind right now?
Yeah, you know what? Funny enough, I was actually thinking that when I was watching the game here. I said, I wonder if the Boks are watching, if or they've been told or whatever to not watch and just worry about the game. But I think what we saw from New Zealand tonight wasn't anything, I'm not going to say not special, but it was New Zealand being New Zealand. Like, it won't be shocking to the Boks that New Zealand played like that and won pretty well. They've seen this before. They've played against them so many times. They know what New Zealand are capable of. So they'll probably not be too intimidated. I think they'll just hopefully be focusing on that game tomorrow and actually just leave the game analysis up to the coaches, right? That's Rassie and Jacques' job to go in and analyze, and then first of all get through tomorrow. Again, that's a big thing, right? Because how the All Blacks play and what it means bugger all if they don't get past England tomorrow. Right. So I think they just need to come out, focus on what they need to do the job tomorrow. Bring the same sort of energy, passion, intensity, as they did last week, and then hopefully onto a big final.
100%. Yeah, I imagine they would have been watching together, but it's not one of those environments where I don't think they're cheering on a particular team. I think it's quite not a tense environment, just a pretty relaxed one, but I don't think too animated. They're just kind of, it's information gathering. They're seeing, small things that they can potentially point out and discuss. But I imagine it's quite a relaxed environment, and they'll be all kind of in their hotel rooms. Hopefully, no Mark Telea scenarios for any of the Springboks this evening out in the pub watching or anything. But I'm sure that's not the case. But that is it, I think, for tonight's coverage of the first semi-final. And we have New Zealand in the final. They have earned the opportunity to go at it for another 80 minutes to take home the William Webb Ellis. That'll be happening next week. And incredible, incredible scenes. It's just not decided whether it's going to be South Africa or England to join them. That coverage will be starting tomorrow, same time, same place. Join us. You'll see same friendly faces here again. And we promise to give all the players that are retiring more 10-star ratings. But yeah, thanks so much, everyone. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to get up to that 60K mark. And to Boyle Sports and BITDEFENDER, thank you for your continued support. Cheers, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evenings.
Cheers all.